What's up guys, Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com. So in this video, I'm going to show you some of my best tips for working in tight spaces in SketchUp. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. All right, so one of the things that you can kind of struggle with when you start getting into models where you have like tight spaces, like this closet, for example, is getting in here to make changes and adjustments gets really tricky, right? I mean, you kind of orbit around and then you end up in walls and you're trying to see the whole space and nothing really works. These are going to be some of my best tips for getting into some spaces like that one. So first tip, if you ever get stuck in your walls, hop back to Zoom Extents by clicking on the Zoom Extents button in the large toolset. What that's going to do is that's going to zoom you back out so that you can see everything in the extents of the model in one view. And you can access the large toolset by right-clicking in your menu area, checking the box for large toolset, and then you can just click on Zoom Extents right here. Next up is something that sounds easy, but a lot of people don't necessarily pick up on this, especially if they're beginners. And that's the way that the zoom function works. Because usually the way that we zoom into things in our model is we scroll up and down with our mouse wheel. Well, one of the things you need to know is if you put your mouse over something, your view is going to zoom based on where your cursor location is. So no matter where I go, I'm going to zoom in based on whatever my mouse is over. So if you want to zoom in on something in particular, like say this tissue box right here, put your mouse over it and then scroll up in order to zoom in. If you're just randomly scrolling, it might feel like this is randomly jumping around. So put your mouse over what you want to zoom into. And note that this will also zoom out based on where your mouse goes as well. So if I put my mouse over here, notice how I'm going to zoom kind of sideways. If I put my mouse over here and zoom out, we're going to zoom kind of sideways this way. So wherever your cursor is going to drive the way that your model zooms. So next up is more of a general organizational thing, but I highly recommend that you are grouping and tagging your model as you go. What that's going to do is that's going to give you the ability to toggle things on and off based on what you need to see. So in this situation, for example, I don't need to see things like my crown molding. I don't need to see things like my walls. And I prefer to tag exterior and interior walls separately so that I can toggle them both on and off. But notice how by being able to toggle these things off, I can get into a space really quickly. So in this case, I can toggle off my doors. I can toggle off all of my trim. And what that's going to do is that's going to give me the ability to isolate different spaces like this one. So if I needed to get in here and start making changes, I could just toggle those things off, and then I can start moving things around as I need to. So be tagging and organizing your model as you go. And if you want to learn more about how to tag and organize your model, definitely check out the SketchUp Essentials course, because I get very in-depth on how to set up all of this different tagging so that your model is really easy setup. And I also teach you how to use all of that tagging in order to set up spaces for floor plans and elevations and other things like that. Okay, so next up we have another zoom tip. And this is one that actually a lot of people don't know is in there. You can actually select an object and you can right click on it and you can zoom based on that object. So what you can do is you can click in here, you can right click on an object like so. Well, notice how when you have an object selected, you can just select the option for zoom selected, and it will zoom you in right on top of whatever that object is. So if you want to zoom in on one thing in particular, just right click and do a zoom selected, and your camera will zoom in and allow you to see that in the middle of your camera view. Okay, so next up is a tip that a lot of people don't know about, and it's to use the position camera tool in order to set your view. Now, a lot of people know that you can click in here and you can set up a view, right? So I could orbit down right here and then click, and this is going to set up my camera view. Notice how it's going to place your camera in a certain location, and then you can type in a value to set your eye height. So in this case, maybe like 6 feet or something like that. This also sets you into look around mode, which we'll talk about in a second. What a lot of people don't know is you can also use this in order to set your camera view up to look at a certain thing. So if I click on the position camera tool right here and I click and drag in a direction, so say I want this to look at this window right here, I can click and drag, and this is going to set my camera up so that it's looking at what I dragged to. Well, then all you have to do is type in a value for your eye height. So in this case, I'd type 6 feet, bring this down, and I've got a nice view of this space right here looking at this object. And while we're talking about this, notice that the camera view in this space is very narrow. Well, you can adjust the field of view of a camera by clicking on the zoom function. And notice how in the lower right-hand corner, there's an option to type in a value for the field of view, or you can hold the shift key down and click and drag in order to set your field of view. So in this case, notice how I could type in a value of like 75 right here, and that's going to give me a view with a wider camera angle. So that would allow you to really quickly set up any view that you wanted in these spaces. So say that I wanted a view looking at this door right here. I could just click and drag, type in an eye height, click and drag down, and then use the zoom tool to set my field of view to something much wider so that I can actually see the space. And in addition, you've probably run into the issue where orbiting around is kind of problematic in a 3D space like this because you start going through walls and your camera just gets a little wonky, right? Well, what you can do is instead of doing that, you can use the look around tool and the first person walk tool. So in this case, right, the look around tool is basically instead of orbiting, which takes your camera and orbits it around a location, the look around tool keeps your current camera fixed and it rotates the direction that you're looking instead. And then if you want to move around, what you can do is you can use the walk around tool or the walk tool in order to do that. So you can just click and drag in your space and notice how that's going to keep your camera height fixed like so. And so you can actually use it to move into a space. And then if I wanted to look around, I wouldn't use orbit, I would use look around. So I would click and drag this way and turn this, and I can see inside of this space a lot better. So use the look around and walk tools if you want to keep your camera height kind of the same and just do some looking around inside of your model. And so say that you wanted to make edits to your model. There's two things that I find completely invaluable when I'm working on this. So the first is I have X-ray mode set up as a keyboard shortcut on my keyboard. So what that means is that if I need to get in here and make just a quick edit, right? So say that I needed to make a change for something right here and I needed to see through something. Well, what I can do is I can tap that X key in order to see through things. So notice how tapping X or clicking on X-ray mode right here allows you to set everything as kind of transparent in your model so that you can see through it. This can be very valuable if you're just trying to find things or if you're trying to move things around and pick up an inference point or something like that. Toggling that X-ray mode on can save you a ton of time because it just gives you a quick way to kind of like look through walls without having to do a whole bunch of changes or make difficult edits or anything like that. And then the other function that I have that I love to use is the tool for isolating the component that I'm currently working on. And so what this is this is a setting that allows me to hide or fade the rest of my model so that I can only see what I'm working on. You can find this by going to Window, Model Info, and going to Components. There's a checkbox in here under Fade Rest of Model for Hide Rest of Model. And so what that does is that means that anything that's outside of the current group that you're editing will be faded, like so. So that gives me the ability to only look at things that are in a certain group like this, and it makes making those changes really easy. Now, one thing that was a game changer for me was setting this to a keyboard shortcut. So because I have this as a keyboard shortcut, I can actually toggle this mode on by just doing a Shift H on my keyboard. And so what you can do is you can go to Window, Preferences, and you just want to find Hide Rest of Model right here, and you just want to add a keyboard shortcut. So in this case, I've set this to Shift H. And so what that means is when I'm in here, say I wanted to make an edit to this wainscot cap, for example. If I do a Shift H, I can get in here and I can edit and adjust the wainscot cap by itself, and then I can do a Shift H again in order to turn everything back on. So it allows me to really quickly isolate parts of my model and work on them. And so another great zoom functionality is the zoom window. I know we've talked a little bit about zooming your selection, but there's also an option over here for zoom window. And so for zoom window, what you're going to do is you're going to click and drag a box around something, and it'll zoom you in based on whatever that box is that you drew. So in this case, I can click on this and say I wanted to zoom into the bathtub. I can click and drag around the bathtub right here, and it's going to zoom your window in so that that box you drew is going to be what's in the middle of your screen. So you can use this in order to get into very tight spaces like so really quickly, in order to zoom in on individual objects without having to get into the group and select them for zoom selection. And so another thing I recommend is save your views once you have them. So in my case, for example, I have multiple views inside of this bedroom already saved, right? So instead of me having to go in here and reset my view every single time for these spaces, what I can do instead is I can just click into these scenes in order to get to them literally whenever I want to. So instead of me having to do a whole bunch of work, what I do is I save these views with styles associated with them so that I can get in here and take a look at them if I decide that I want to do that. So if you do have views that you keep going back to in certain spaces, save them as views inside of your scenes so that you can get back to them without having to do a whole bunch of view editing or anything like that. And then finally, say that you wanted to work on an isolated space like this closet, for example. So up to this point, what we've done is we've kind of like focused on toggling things off and setting things up by tags. Another thing you could do though is you could just throw a section plane in here real quick. So I'm just going to add a section plane right here. I'm going to slide this section plane over just a tad like so. And then I can just go to my view and toggle my section planes back off. Well, now I can get into this space and I can move things around and make adjustments without having to worry about doing a whole bunch of toggles or anything like that. So you can also just add a temporary section plane in order to get into a space and make edits. And then once you're done, you could just delete that section plane if you don't need it anymore, right? So I've got this section plane in here. Well, now I don't need it. I can just delete this out and go back to my working view like this. All right, so that's some of my best tips for working in tight spaces in SketchUp. Leave a comment below and let me know if you're using these, if you have other tips for this. I just love having that conversation with you guys. So if you do want to learn more about how to set up your SketchUp models so that you can use them to create plans and create visuals, make sure you check out the SketchUp Essentials course. I will link to that on this page. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.